Hey everyone, I'm John Lynn, the founder and chief editor at Healthcare IT Today. We're excited to bring you another in our series of interviews with top leaders in health IT. We're here at the MEDITECH Live conference, and our guests are Mike Elder, CIO and Vice President, Phoebe Putney Health System, and Kelsey Reed. She's Director of Patient Care at Phoebe Putney Health System. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Yeah, excited to have this discussion. It sounds like you all are doing some really great work at Phoebe Putney. But before we go there and talk about our topic today, Mike, why don't you start off? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization.
Yeah, thank you, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, Mike Elder. I've been at Phoebe Putney Health System for 28 years.
Wow.
9 years as a technical director, HIPAA security officer, and then 9 years as the application and clinical informatics director. And then my new role is CIO for 1 year this month, so celebrate my first year.
Congratulations.
I survived my first year. CIO.
Made it.
Yes. A lot of bumps and bruises along the way, but it's great. It's an awesome opportunity for me. So.
That's awesome. And in your organization?
Yeah, Phoebe Putney consists of 4 hospitals, 47 clinics, 300 providers, about 5,500 employees. We cover the whole southwest corner of Georgia. It's a lot of rural agricultural area, so we cover a mass area, trauma center, trauma 2 designation, along with many other service lines that we support.
Awesome. Kelsey, how about yourself?
Yes, thanks for having me. So I'm Kelsey Reed. I'm the Director of Patient Care at Phoebe Putney Health System in Albany, Georgia. And I cover a multitude of departments as a nursing director. I have a few acute care units, our observation unit, our admission discharge transition unit, inpatient oncology team, our vascular access team, and then our virtual nursing department as well.
So you're bored, is it?
Yes, yeah. Not a lot of additional time on my hands. But I've been at Phoebe for 7 years now, and in my current role for 4 years.
That's awesome. So
I'm sorry, Jack, can I say one thing about Kelsey? She can't say no to an opportunity.
It's a hard word for me.
Yeah, it is a hard word for her. So she's taken on a lot of responsibility, but she's really great clinically. Nurse practitioner, been on the floor, been in service lines, so she really covers the gamut for us. So she's a real superstar at Phoebe. So I'm glad she's here today to kind of explain what we do clinically, because I'm not your person for that.
Well, that's awesome. I appreciate having both of you here. This is exciting, being here at MEDITECH Live. We have the opportunity to be part of this much larger MEDITECH community. I saw that you, Kelsey, you're going to be part of a panel discussion later on today. I love that they're involving clinicians in this, not just the tech people.
Right, me too.
So tell me about the value of this conference and how you became to be involved.
Well, this is my first MEDITECH Live event. Such a great opportunity to be here. Just so much value to be able to learn from other organizations, other leaders about what they're doing, what's going well, and how we can adopt similar methods. I already had the opportunity this morning to be a part of the Nurse Advisory Council.
Awesome.
So many great things happening across the multiple hospitals. And so we were able to learn about some challenges that we all experience, because we do experience similar challenges, but the most importantly, how other people have navigated through those, how we can adopt those methods and do things differently. We're all here for the same goal, the same purpose, to optimize and improve efficiency for our clinicians. And so it's great being in the meeting of the minds to be able to work through those challenges together.
I mean, that's why I love user conferences. It's peers dealing with some of the same challenges that you deal with every day. And so there's a relationship there that is unique.
It's just instantaneous as well.
Yeah. Mike, I learned that, since going live with MEDITECH, you've continued to roll out Expanse solutions throughout your organization. Talk to me a little bit more about those efforts and how they've gone.
Well, we just upgraded to 2.2 WPL last weekend. It went really well. We had a lot of good at-the-elbow support. Kelsey on the clinical side went through the training, got everything they needed to be prepared for it. We're getting a lot of good feedback from the nurses that they're on the same version now that the physicians have been on for over a year. So a lot of continuity of care there that's very important for us. But as we go down through the MEDITECH track, we've piloted MEDITECH Ambulatory in 5 clinics with 15 providers last October, a year ago.
Wow.
And now we're building out MEDITECH Ambulatory Expanse for the rest of the Phoebe Physicians groups, what we call it. 43 more clinics and about 275 more providers next fall. It'll be November of 25. We'll be going live big bang with all the MEDITECH Ambulatory.
Going big bang, I love that.
Yeah.
It's always interesting, do you put it in slow or big bang?
Well, I say big bang, it's like a 30-day kind of rolling go live. So,
Yeah,
really
that's a
excited
big project.
about that. We are putting in MEDITECH Hospice now. So we're trying to be all in with MEDITECH. That's one of our goals and metrics that we're looking towards. Part of our strategy is system consolidation, and MEDITECH's a huge part of that at Phoebe Putney.
Why did you make that decision? Was it about cost savings? Was it about the integration? What went into that decision to kind of go all in with MEDITECH?
Yeah, that's a good question, John. For us, it was patient first, right? We always think about the patient. So, right, the continuity of care, when you go see your primary care provider, all that information that'll follow you into the ER, into admission, maybe an ICU visit, down to a med-surg floor, discharge, and then follow up with that primary care physician, that continuity of care in the EMR is critical to make those decisions that need to be made on your behalf. And then, of course, financial kind of plays into that a little bit because you're consolidating the EMR. So the quality, safety, the clinical reasons came first, and then the money kind of followed that. But it just made a lot of sense for us.
Yeah. Kelsey, what would you add as far as the rollout of Expanse across your organization? What's been your experience?
So this past year, we actually adopted the point of care devices
nice.
across all of our inpatient units as well, and that's been huge for us. I just cannot say enough good things about those devices. Initially, we were really looking at it more from a quality standpoint. It was a direct effort to reduce hospital-acquired pressure injuries because we use those devices to take photos of pressure points on admission for every single patient that enters our facility. And so we saw the quality of our documentation improve, but what we also saw was that ability for our nurses to improve their workflow. So like many organizations, we use WOWs or COWs, those computers on wheels. I have a lot of mixed feelings about those. As a nursing leader, right? Can you find one? Does it work? As a nursing leader, though, I do not love them because they also, as most nurses, hoard supplies, and so those pockets in the COWs fill up very quickly. So we've been able to minimize our use of the COWs and go to those point of care devices instead. And so our nurses aren't pushing around those heavy devices throughout their shift.
Which weighs on them too, right?
Right, exactly.
It's a health issue.
So they take those point of care devices to the bedside. They're able to do simple assessments, document those assessments, take those photos. They're able to utilize the MAR right there on the point of care device. So it's really reduced non-value added time for our clinicians, and that's so important.
That's great. I heard you also, did an opening at your Living and Learning Center. Tell me more about that and how that went down, Mike.
Yeah, to me that was amazing to me for our senior leadership to have the foresight to see the future of contract nursing was a real problem during COVID, and during all that turmoil and all the things that they were dealing with, they were thinking ahead of what can we do to bring more nurses to Phoebe Putney Health System instead of pay contract labor. Because as you know, the financial constraints of contract nurses was hurting our bottom line. So even years ago, they were thinking about taking the old high school that was across the street that was given to us, that was dilapidated, asbestos, all those things, and rebuilding that as a living and learning center. So we partnered with the Albany Technical College locally. At that time, they had about 20 nursing students enrolled per semester, per quarter. So what we've done is we've rebuilt that Living and Learning Center. The bottom floor is sim labs, classrooms for nurses, the LPNs, CNAs, MAs, phlebotomists, I think are going through there. So they enrolled 120 students this quarter. We just opened up in August. So we went from 20 to 120.
Wow. Right?
And then there's also 80 dorm rooms. So we can now pull students from the area to come and live there. And then, be trained, we have a nice gym that they can use. The facilities are great there. So it's a great opportunity for the community, but also for Phoebe to kind of grow our own for the future. It made a lot of sense.
No, I mean, it makes sense why you're, working to educate that next generation of nurses. Right. And there's the nurses shortage that we all know about. You can't get enough of them. Kelsey, I mean, you're the nurse in this group right here. What efforts have you put in place to kind of keep nurses happy and kind of address this overall nursing shortage that, most organizations feel.
Yeah, we've done a lot at Phoebe, I will say that. Post-pandemic, we formed a committee called the Future of Nursing.
Okay.
And in that committee, we came up with many strategies to impact recruitment and impact retention. One that I'm most proud of is the implementation of our virtual nurse program, which we completely created on our own. And it's just really transformed the way that we deliver care, with the goal of retaining our nurses that have been at the bedside with many, many years of experience that maybe no longer can keep up with those bedside demands that are often
don't want to.
Right, exactly. So this is a great opportunity for them to stay in the workforce, just in a different setting. Also, we've been able to capture and hold on to nurses that were truly experiencing burnout and were even considering an entire career change. So we've retained that staff, but we've also improved efficiency for our bedside team members by having our administrative tasks really shifted to the role of the virtual nurse. So our virtual nurses complete admissions, they do all the discharge education and counseling, we do medication recs at time of admission, we do education sessions focused on new meds prescribed during the admission, we do post-discharge phone calls, we do extensive education for our CHF and diabetes patient population. There's a lot of work that we do, a lot of quality surveillance, a lot of chart audits with real-time resolution as well. And it's been very successful for our organization. So very proud of that. We grew from having one virtual nurse to now 30 virtual nurses, started on one unit, and now we're across 10 departments.
That's amazing.
So we've seen that as a great effort to retain and recruit and help reduce documentation burden for our nursing staff as well.
Well, and I bet the patients love it too. I remember sitting there waiting for a nurse to do discharge, right?
Right.
It's probably much faster if you have all these nurses.
We track a lot of metrics with this program too, and so we've been able to reduce that time to discharge, from the time the discharge order is written to the time the patient actually discharges. We provide such focused content that's uninterrupted for the patient, so they do love it.
Yeah.
That nurse that's doing the discharge teaching is able to focus solely on that patient to give them all the right tools that they need to be able to transition home. And we've seen a direct reflection of that as improvement in our discharge information HCAP scores as well.
Wow, that's awesome. Nurses is important. I think they're the heartbeat of healthcare. But how about physicians, Mike? How have you approached kind of managing physician satisfaction and their burnout?
Right. Well, for us, we have a physician advisory council. For the acute side, we've had it for years. We started it 12 years ago. We started this journey with MEDITECH for the health system. So we meet once a month, we get their feedback, and we bring changes to them on what we're trying to do, and that council decides to keep or modify or make those changes and votes on that. So that's kind of, that word is spread throughout the community that your cohorts, your partners in medicine made these decisions for you. We have now formed a PAC, Physician Advisory Council, for the ambulatory side. And so Dr. Hurd is heading that up. Dr. Sewell heads up the acute side. And those two councils meet separately right now, and then they join together quarterly to talk about, because they do impact each other, right? The acute and ambulatory, MEDITECH, they do. There's a lot of overlap there. So we've done that. We brought up 10 physicians last month to CLPP for MEDITECH ambulatory to get their buy-in. Had a great time. MEDITECH did a phenomenal job preparing them. They were, when they left, they were ready. When can we put in MEDITECH ambulatory? Right? I mean, they were excited about it. Yeah,
it was really great.
It was an exciting time. We need to keep that momentum going. So including your physicians is important in decision making, and how to build your EMR, whether it be acute or ambulatory, is critical for us at Phoebe.
Yeah, you have to get their buy-in, otherwise it's a problem.
Absolutely.
No one wants to be forced to do something.
Right.
But if they make the decision, they're forcing themselves.
Right. Exactly. And for us too is getting their buy-in on less clicks. You hear that all the time. Dragon Medical One's been was a big satisfier. 10 years ago, we went MEDITECH acute all in. That was a big satisfier for them. So now we're looking at maybe Suki or Nuance, DAX as for MEDITECH ambulatory to add some more value to that experience for them.
Yeah, so what is next for Phoebe Putney? It sounds like you're looking at AI medical scribes, ambient clinical voice solutions. Any other things you're looking at? What's on the horizon?
Looking at a lot of different things. with the nursing improvements with Expanse, we want to focus not just on physicians and their satisfaction and their tools, is also getting nursing more involved and look at some AI, different things for them. That's why I'm excited about MEDITECH Live, some of the discussions today, to look at some of those AI. It's kind of a big buzzword, right? Everybody wants to talk about generative.
But what's real?
What's real and what's useful, because we've tried different solutions out. But super excited about that opportunity.
And to add to that, Mike, one thing that we're working together with our nurse residency program is really getting feedback from the frontline staff about redundant charting. How can we optimize your workflow? What do you feel like you're double documenting every shift? So we're conducting those feedback sessions, and we're going to start providing a lot more structure surrounding that. Because we want our frontline users to speak up and say what works for them and what doesn't work for them. We want to change that, because that's another opportunity to retain them and keep them happy. Always say the people closest to the problem are closest to the solution, and so their voices are important. So we want to go back to them and say, we heard you, we listened to you, and here's what we've changed because of what you said.
Wow, I love that. Well, I appreciate you both taking time to talk with us and share your experience, with MEDITECH Expanse and your other efforts to reduce the burnout and the burden on nurses and physicians. I really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you want to find more great healthcare IT content like this, be sure to check it out at healthcareittoday.com or search for Healthcare IT Today on your favorite podcasting application. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.